Hello everybody, a very good morning. One of the most eagerly awaited launches of the year is upon us. A very good morning. Welcome to our show. I'm Dave Bradford and here launching the latest Carnation Crafts collection for you. Now this time of the year, if you've been crafting for a few years, you know that in June it is Christmas in the crafting world. And we are bringing you today the first Christmas launch from Carnation Crafts. And since that little tease that Carla did for you yesterday, giving you the heads up as to what was coming, a third of the stock has gone overnight. And when you see the live shows we've got for you, one now, one at 11 and one at 1 this afternoon, you're going to want to get hold of the gifted Christmas. I'm excited, Taz is excited, Carla's excited, you will be too. It is gorgeous, as you'd expect. You'd expect nothing less from the brilliant Carnation Crafts. It's innovative, it's fun, it's cute, it's traditional. But it's got lots of twists and turns that make it unique, make it a unique collection for you. Now, if you want to get hold of it, it's called the Gifted Christmas. Here it is. Now, let me just run through exactly what you're going to be getting from left to right or from right to left. You've got your poinsettias, you've got your Christmas roses, you've got your ferns, of course, as well. You've got your beautiful your cold snap corners there with the frosty icicles. Next to that, you've got your cute Christmas characters. You've got the polar bear, you've got the robin, and you've also, of course, got the fox there as well, and all of your Christmas accessories. You've got your beautifully wrapped ribbon dies over here as well, and here it's bursting with joy. Now, you may not know, and probably you won't know because I didn't, exactly what this die will do. But we're going to show you with Carla how revolutionary and different and imaginative and how genius this die is and what it can do for you. Now, I've got to let you know, normally we say to you, oh, go to the website after you've purchased and you can get the vignettes. That isn't going to be available until tomorrow. Now, the reason behind that makes very good sense. It's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit us. Normally, when we launch Christmas, we get a massive response. Many of you placing orders. Now, if the same number of people that are placing orders are trying to download vignettes from our website as well, the website can get kind of overwhelmed. We don't want that to happen. We don't want you to get frustrated. So today, place your order, please, for the collection. And from tomorrow, the artwork and the vignettes will be available on the website to download. It just means there's not so many people using the website at one time and it all gets a bit too much for the web. Carla's here. Happy Christmas. Jingle bells.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Deck the halls of bells, Holly.
I really do Christmas at Christmas, I'll be totally honest. So to be here in June is quite the thing. I'm just going to say hello to everybody who's here because there's lots of you. People saying happy birthday to you, Davey B.
Oh, thank you very much. That was the day before yesterday.
We've got Jacqueline, we've got June, we've got Diane, we've got Karen, we've got Jackie Wright, we've got Jacqueline Ward, we've got Karen Vincent. It's going fast. Suzanne Page, Linda Wilson, Linda McLeod, Stephanie Morehouse, Trina Gardner, Serenity, Anne Munson, Vera Bose, Serenity again, sorry, Susan Green. Good morning to you all. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We come to you live with the Christmas collection, the first of two Christmas collections. This one is Gifted Christmas. And as just to reiterate what Dave was saying there, which is about the vignettes coming live, and the vignettes, for those of you who've never joined us before, are artwork pieces that you get to go with the collection. Sharon Curtis says, morning you three and happy birthday, Davey B.
Hi Sharon, thank you.
So yeah, you'll get all of those tomorrow, your artwork. I know you all want it, but it just makes sense to allow the website just to breathe. It's the downloading of the vignettes that really puts pressure on a server. So we're taking that headache away from you and just allowing you to order, because you're not going to get the dies till tomorrow anyway. But for those of you who order today, who ordered last night, there is a good chance they'll come through the door tomorrow.
Now, just to let you know, if you'd like to get your hands on the collection, and many of you have already, the details are on the screen there for you. Its product code is, or item number 230601, 230601. Now, you do need to use the discount code. It is CCGC10, okay? CCGC10. That gets you your 10% discount, which then makes that price a really affordable £107.99. Free delivery in the UK, of course. If you're watching us in America, it's $4.95 postage and shipping and handling for you. If you pop in your perfect papers, which I know many of you do on a regular basis, that takes the shipping up to $14.95 if you're in the States. But you can also, of course, order through PayPal, Pay in 3, or ClearPay. That will give you interest-free over either 3 payments or 4 payments. And if you want to buy the show, because we have got a couple of extra goodies in the show that you may well want to add into your order, The buy the show with everything is 196.16. That's including your discount code, including the perfect papers and a few dies I'm about to show you as well. And if you want to use that on ClearPay, that will be 49.04 over 4 payments, or 65.39 with PayPal Pay in 3. That's if you want to buy everything, which I know lots of you will want to do. Shall I quickly just show the extras? Okay.
Aye.
Now these don't come in the main collection, but when you see what this can do, you'll want it. Now my top tip, purely my top tip, frost panel card shape. Now if you see that fantastic die with the aperture, the diamond aperture in the middle, that is going to be a stunning, stunning card, and it will make cards like this, as you can see, gorgeous. But if you like the look of this panel across the top here, that is what this die is all about. Because I said to Carla this morning when I came in, I said, what's that? Is that like the spine for a book or something? She said, oh, no. It makes the most wonderful decorative border, and all will be displayed and explained about that soon. So if you would like that, that is $39.99 on its own. You can add it into your order. You'll get your 10% discount on that as well if you use the discount code. So that's that one. And this is your tree. Now, the putting up the tree, if I just show you a finished card quickly, it looks like a fairly short tree, almost like a wedding cake actually. But it's got very clever technology that lets it expand to a higher tree. How that works and what brain comes up with this engineering and this amazing technology is beyond me. But there is your putting up the tree. So that's available as a separate item. And that's $17.99 if you want that on its own. That's 230609. And then this one is a debossing plate. So this will actually emboss into the cardstock, and you can run your inks over it and use it like a letterpress if you want to as well. But that beautiful crisp winter debossing plate, that is $24.99, and that's available separately as well. But if you want all of that with the main collection and your perfect papers, it will be $196.16 using your discount code CCGC10. But if you just want the main collection, that's fine as well. Should we do the boards?
Let's do boards and have a look at what you're going to get in this collection. I will just explain while I'm here before I go into anything else. The first 2 demos that we do today, one's going to be a cut-in demo, and the next one will be to show you how to make that card spine that we were looking at earlier, which is this, so you can see it. So I'll do those 2 first, and then you know you've got the information that you need going forward. Hopefully the 3rd demo we do today will be a card, and then obviously you've got the next 2 shows today, which are at 11 AM and 1 PM, and they will be card demos. So just to let you know, I will be doing those first. Bursting with Joy is incredible. Very odd. It's a concept idea as opposed to it being a card shape. Carnation always bring us something special, and this is the most incredible piece. What it allows us to do is torn edges. Now I'm going to go through it in a lot more detail. I will do some cutting for you, but for instance this piece will create this that's in my hand, which allows things to move. We create apertures, and I will go through that with you in more detail, but wow, is it insanely awesome. You're going to love it.
Can I just show the concept? I know we're going to go through the cards in a minute. I just wanted to show you the sort of thing you can do with it to give that torn edge. See the robins peeping out from that torn edge? That's what the die will do. This will give you a circular aperture. So again, all those torn edges, you can just twirl them with your pokey tool or whatever, or tweezers. That's what the die is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's about creating, I mean, the idea being that it's gifted Christmas, and the idea that you're kind of unwrapping a present. However, we all know that some of those shabby chic cards that we make have those torn edges on them, and they're beautiful when they're made like that. So it's not really just about Christmas, but it's a nice aspect to have, and something that we can use all year round, so it doesn't kind of trap us into it. We can have those lovely torn corners. That's the first thing that I'm actually going to demonstrate with you, and I will do that as a cutting demo so you can see it being used, being in action, and we'll go from there. But from going forward, we've then, I love this. It's so look at the artwork on that. That is something else, isn't it? That ribbon is extraordinary. Remember, you'll be able to get your vignettes tomorrow, so all of this artwork will be yours for free once you've bought the collection. You've got the beautiful ribbon. Now, it's really clever, is this, because you've got the tail of the ribbons here, but these long line pieces and this shorter piece, if you've made a card that's in a rectangle, this, you'll need 2 of those, 1 on each side. You'll see me demo this, and 2 of these going across, so you've got the cross of the parcel almost, and then the ribbon on top. Really beautiful, lovely to use, and really easy to use. So we've got that one, and then we go forward where you've got your seasonal florals here. So you've got your poinsettia, thank you very much Kate for yesterday, your help if you're here, and then we've got your white florals. Then you've got your berries, you've got your pine cone, you've got your ferns, and you've got your mistletoe. Is that mistletoe? Holly.
Holly. Yeah.
You've got the stealth and you've got two beautiful sentiments. These are massive dies. When you think about how much you're getting in this collection, it's unbelievable. All of this coming to you as part of this collection. Really stunning artwork as well. Those vignettes coming through where you're going to be able to play with colour, blooms, all of those things. But the most awaited, probably this little chap here, because he is quite handsome, is Pablo the polar bear. Just a handsome, handsome chap. We've also got that beautiful fox, the gorgeous robin. We've got a scarf that all three of those can wear. He stole my heart. I love him. That little rabbit with that great big Christmas hat on is just the cutest. Him with his little waistcoat that's just a little bit baggy around his armpit, just beyond cute. Table all set. That's a really beautiful corner edging for a card shape, by the way. Little stool if you want to put a stool next to it, and the little creatures can sit on top. You've got the presents and all the gifts coming through, and you've got different shapes and sizes for those, so we can really play with height and we can start to build those corner aspects. You've got a little wine glass and you've got some rubbish sort of all folded together, Christmas wrapping paper.
They look like they're ready for their Christmas party, don't they, those characters?
We are all ready for the Christmas party. Then you have got your frosted panels here for the your corners. These are gorgeous. I love these so much, those crisp edges. So this one specifically has stolen my heart because it's the one I'm going to use and I'm going to keep using and keep using. I know it's supposed to be for Christmas. You can use it any time.
Yeah, you can.
It's just beautiful. And then this gorgeous aspect which you can use as a centerpiece in your card to create that background, that texture, that beautiful, beautiful dimension. And that, my friends, is your gifted Christmas collection, and very stunning it is too. You're going to be able to create some awesome, awesome stuff with this, but we do have 3 more aspects to it, and I will show you the boards for those. I know Dave has shown you the die, but we'll go through and look at these. So these are not part of the main bundle. These are separate, but I know some of you will desperately want them, especially this main card shape.
I've got to get that one, without a doubt.
The frost panel card shape is incredibly clever, beautifully designed, obviously with all of the elegance we would expect from Carnation, but you have got this extra panel here and this strip. Obviously you get the bow as well, and that creates, as we see here, I'm going to demonstrate it, but it means that once it's all folded in, these pieces, these strips can be woven into it, and then your florals tucked through. We're going to play with that. You'll see it come to life. It is extraordinarily beautiful and something completely different to what we're used to seeing.
And I'm going to show you some finished cards after we've looked at the boards in a second that will show you what you can do with that particular die if you're not quite sure how it works. I'll show you that in a sec.
Pretty as a picture. This one, you can just see, if I grab where's my pokey? If I grab this pokey and I just pull that, can you see how that's coming away there? And then it comes away at the other side as well, and then it comes away in the midpoint there. That allows us to stretch that tree right out.
Genius.
So you can have it as a little tree, you can have it as a tall tree, you've got all your decorations for it, you've also got your beautiful kind of festoons and all your elements going through as well. There are certain aspects in the main collection which will work as like a tinsel going around the tree. Lots you can do, but this bad boy, that is quite the thing. So this is your debossing plate, and man alive, is that pretty. Look at that, the texture on it. Imagine that using some gilding waxes. Imagine it using, you know, all different variants that you can put on, or just crisp and beautiful as it is. It's stunning, that
piece. Look
piece.
at the dimension of it. I mean, there's no colour on there whatsoever,
No.
but the deboss is so, so deep.
It is. So my advice, just going forward, in case I forget to mention it later on, when you're using the debossing plate, my advice is to do it on a 240 cardstock or a 220 cardstock, something around there. So a little bit lighter than your 350, just because it'll obviously make a deeper impression. We're breaking those fibres in the paper. If you don't have an embossing plate, and I've lost mine, I have discovered that you can get a really good impression if you do it on a piece of Elevate as well. So if you want to have a look on Carnation's website, they've got Elevate there. It works beautifully as kind of because the compression gives. So when that sits on there and the debossing plate goes on it, it kind of goes inwards, and it works really well. And I've lost my embossing plate, so it worked perfectly for me.
Okay, right, finished cards coming up. I just got to quickly say hello to a few of you on Facebook. Eileen Gill Martin says, great idea delaying the vignettes. We thought it would be a good idea so that we're not overwhelming the website all in one go with people buying and trying to download the artwork. So that's going to be there for you from tomorrow, remember. Paula Brooks says, morning everyone. Pam Fennell, good morning to you on this sunny day in Port Talbot. Happy birthday, Dave. Thank you, Pam. Morning, beautiful collection. Who'd have thought I'd needed another Christmas collection? There is a need. There's a must to this collection, definitely. Sandra Mullings as well, hi to you, and hi to everybody that's watching us on YouTube and Facebook and on carnationcrafts.co.uk. Let me just show you quickly some finished cards. Tina Whitemore has done this one. There is Pablo in the middle of the diamond aperture. But look, that die that Carla showed you a few minutes ago about kind of turning it and curling it so that you can actually put ribbon through it and also put your elements through it, of course, as well. That's one way of using it. Here's another one. That was paper ribbon. This is actually satin ribbon being threaded through the actual apertures in that corner. That's actually done that way around. There we go. And popping in your poinsettias in there as well, because you've got the apertures in that border to be able to do it. And then if you don't want to use ribbon, here's another one done by Sue Dalrymple. Morning, Sue, if you're watching. She's done a fantastic job of putting in the berries and the holly and the fir cones in the apertures in that almost like a square tube that runs up the side there. That's what that die that looked a little bit like a ring binder, that's what that will achieve, and it's just revolutionary. And again, the brain behind it, Nick and the team, amazing, amazing designs, and always something different that you've not seen before. This is from Barbara Treadwell. Hi Barbara, another familiar face, and you put some LED lights on there, which looks really cool.
Tiny lights. Don't forget your tiny lights on the Carnation Crafts website.
Absolutely. Now this is a lovely simple card, this one. Really, really nice. Again, Sue's done this one. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Really classy. That's Taz's favourite, she's saying. Absolutely. Thank you, Sue, for that one. And this is your telescopic tree, if I can call it that. The tree that stretches from Pam Simpson. How beautiful is this? So remember, you can go for the main collection, you can go for the extra dies if you'd like to. From my point of view, the frosted panel card shape is an absolute must. But this is the die here that allows you to do the ripped edges just like this. I think that's what you're going to show us next, Carla, isn't it?
It is indeed. Rachel McCourt, you're saying, what's the code for the Christmas collection, please? I can't see it on my phone. You need to use capitals, and the code is CCGC10, which is Carnation Crafts Gifted Christmas 10, basically. CCGC10, please do use capital letters, otherwise it won't work. And that should give you your 10% off. So hopefully that will go through.
And that's 10% off anything related to the Christmas collection today. So if you want your perfect papers, which we've got here, and the perfect papers, something that we've been doing relatively recently, is you're going to get the plain block colours, but you're also going to get patterned cardstock in the colourways that work with the artwork as well. So you've got your, almost like your Nordic jumper sort of print on that one. You've got your dotty designs on there as well. 48 A4 sheets of perfect papers, and that's $14.99 if you want to add that into your order, because it's going to work with the collection perfectly.
It is. Okay. Right. Should we have a look at Bursting with Joy so you can see? It's super clever. It's very exciting.
Honestly, this morning I said to you, I don't get this. What does it do?
Well, I have to say, when I first got it as well, I was like, hey up, what's this? But it works, it's beautiful. Of course it works, it's Carnation. So, like I say, we cut out these panels, you can see here. Now, this is just a couple of examples, and I'm going to go do some more with you live on air so you can see it working. But as I said, these all lift up. So, I've got the little turning point here. This allows it to bend backwards without destroying any part of the paper. Now I can just have it open like that, so it just sits and everything is bursting forward. Or with time, I can use my pokey and I can start to turn it. Now my advice with this is just work your pokey up and down so you're not creasing it too much, and then roll it around.
Could you use tweezers or not?
Yeah, of course you can. You can use whatever works for you. But basically the idea is that you get these kind of rolled edges. Now we see lots of cards with this, especially in corner elements. It's a big thing in the craft industry. But what we normally do in order to achieve that is take a piece of cardstock such as this, and we have to use the top corner of the card. So we would be doing this, and then we would be rolling that, and then we would be using that on the card. And yes, it looks pretty. Of course it looks pretty, but what it means is we dominate the top edge. And when we dominate the top edge of the card, we can't use tuck-ins in that area very well unless we start rolling that halfway down, which then it gives us limitations as far as what we can do on the rest of the card. What this does is allows us to do that in a different way, and that's what I'm going to show you. So not only do we get that beautiful circle design that you've got here, we've also got the square that you've got here as well, and that does exactly the same thing but with those longer lines. But you can see how I've got what is essentially a torn edge. It's beautifully done. It's so clever, and obviously with Nick's engineering mind and the team's art mind, it just comes together. So we've got all of these elements, so things can burst through those apertures.
And although this is the Christmas collection, there's nothing Christmassy about this part of the collection at all. You can use it all year round.
It is an all-rounder. So let me find just a little piece of cardstock here, and let's put some stuff on it so you can see it coming through. And we're going to chuck it through that machine. So I'll do the diamond one first, just on here, so you can see it. This is my favourite out of all of them. I love this one very, very much. And I'm just going to chuck it through on here. Whack it. You know I love cutting demos, Dave. If I can fail at anything, it's this.
Umberta says, Carla and Dave, morning, stunning collection. I placed my order yesterday. I'm up at 4 a.m. to watch this show because you're in America, aren't you? So, wow, that's dedication. Thank you for getting up so early. Hello to Rachel McCourt as well, Linda McLeod. Remember, loads of you, if you ordered it already, it will be shipped today. It will be dispatched today. If you're ordering right now, it will be shipped today. And tomorrow is when the actual vignettes will be available to print off from our website, absolutely free of charge, just so we don't get the website overloaded with orders and people wanting the imagery at the same time. Keeps it nice and simple.
It does. And a big shout out to those of you who on YouTube as well. So we've got Mandy, we've got Karen, we've got Debbie, we've got Maureen, Susan, Serenity, Vera, Anne. All of you over on YouTube. We don't forget the YouTube posse at all, but it's easier for us to see the Facebook ones. But I have got YouTube sitting here as well. Good. So this has come through, and so now all I'm going to do is take that off here. You can see how much detailing has come through. We're going to take out any extras that might be sitting there, and I've got the beautiful, beautiful design. Now what that means is I can pull back aspects of this. I can start to curl those edges, and then if I had something such as the polar bear, he can sit inside of that, and he can be poking through. We can work with that and we can curl those edges. So that's the same as the circle, and it's the same as the square, but we also have other aspects too. So I'm just going to chuck a few of these through. I won't put them all through, but just so you can see some variants of shapes.
I've never seen anyone design dies like this before. What a great, great idea. Something new.
A very clever sausage, but we won't keep telling him. And so we're going to pop, I'm just going to pop these elements through so you can see some of the different ones. I won't sport with your intelligence by doing all of them, but I will do several of them just so you can see them, because I think when you get this home, it's not for Christmas. That's the thing. This whole kit, this whole Bursting with Joy kit, I think is going to change the way we're able to do those corner elements in cards. And they're really important, that downturn, that beautiful shabby downturn and that curled paper that we love to do. But it has its limitations if you have to lift that top corner, whereas this way, you can do it in the middle of the card. You can do it wherever you want to.
And also thinking about your scrapbooking and your journals and your memory books, all that sort of thing. That's another aspect, another three-dimensional aspect you can use for your tuck-ins and all that sort of thing. So that die alone is a masterpiece. It's genius. The rest of it, it just works together so well. Only launched yesterday, and this is probably the most eagerly awaited launch of the year. Always Christmas in June. This is the latest, and the third went before we even came on air today. And it's just, if you want the main collection, $107.99, and it's available on PayPal Pay in 3 and ClearPay as well.
So just taking these aspects off that I've just used and just placing them back on here before I lose them, because Carnation don't like it when I lose the things, which is more than reasonable. I'm just going to place these on to thither. And you can see it all. It's so clever, isn't it? What an amazing die set.
Linda McLeod says, bursting with joy might just make it into my basket. Makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we've got these aspects. So we can start doing folds along the main part. So think of your tuck-ins coming through these. We've got the little triangle ones. These are smaller ones. So you can have these peeking. Think of the little creatures, little faces peeking out, little florals. Think of this as being a triple aperture. So if you, and that's your corner piece, obviously. So instead of having to do that where you fold the top corner, you would fold this whole sort of section down, and you can do that wherever you want on your card. Now if we were to start to thinking about doing something very clean, very simple, if you were to take a piece like this and lift it on foam tape, and you were to do 3, say, of the triangle coming down with some layers, some mats and layers, and so you would do it on both pieces, you know, the bottom and the top, just measure it all going down, you'd create something really spectacular. These are really beautiful. I know it's meant for Christmas, and I know that's Carnation's intention with it, but I honestly think this is all year round.
But also think of Halloween. That could be a knife slash down the bottom there, couldn't it?
You could make it, Dave.
You could make it very dramatic and a bit kind of.
When have you been practicing your skills?
Zorro.
I mean, Maybe 20 years ago, Dave.
But no, I mean, that bursting with joy you can use for any occasion, any card for any purpose during the year, and it's in the Christmas collection today. Okay, let me just remind you then of what we've got. We've got the main collection, which is £107.99 if you use the discount code CCGC10, okay? 230601, there it is, CCGC10. If you don't use it, you'll be paying more, so make sure you do pop that into the promo code box. But remember, we've got, importantly, 3 other dies that I'm sure you're going to want to add into your order as well. And if you want to buy the show, remember, you can do just under £200, but you can split the payments. My absolute favourite has to be the frost panel card shape, because you've got that die at the top there that creates that border that allows you then to put ribbon through, to place your flowers and your berries and all that sort of thing. So that's the crucial die that allows you to do that. And you've got that fantastic, beautiful diamond shaped main panel, and you've got your ribbon and your bow down the bottom there as well. So that's $39.99, and that's a lot of metal in there for that price. $39.99 gets you that, and that's a game changer, really is. If you wanted the debossing plate, and I found some cards actually that have been using that. This is from Janine Dawson. And can you see there behind the penguin, that panel's been used to get that debossing effect really beautifully. Again, if you wanted to add ink onto it, letterpress it, you could do that too. So that's $24.99 on its own, and that's a lot of die for your money. And then this one, I'm looking forward to seeing this being demonstrated actually later on. We've got the Christmas tree, which is a telescopic one. It literally allows you to pull the top and it increases the height. So you can have a short Christmas tree, a tall Christmas tree, or anything in between, and you've got all your baubles on there as well. And that's only £17.99, and you can decorate the tree with all the extras. So they are extras in the show. Add them into your order. The whole thing, if you buy the show, including the perfect papers, is under £200. Or if you just want to go for the main collection, that's fine, at just £107.99. But remember, we've got PayPal Pay in 3 and ClearPay, where you can choose up to 4 interest-free payments to call on and rely on as well. Now, perfect papers, if you want those quickly, I'll just have a little look at those. You've got a total of 48 sheets. You've got that beautiful kind of, I don't know how you describe that colour actually. What do you think? Mustardy colour, would you say?
It's soft. It's gold. Essentially, it's matte gold,
matte
I
gold.
suppose,
Yeah,
but it's not gold, as in it's not an actual metallic
Got
paper.
a beautiful subtle beige, and remember, you're going to get not just the plain block colour, you're going to get the printed, and you're also going to get the printed dots and little snowflakes as well. But all those colourways, from the reds through the greens for traditional, and the gold and the ivory, all of those 48 sheets, only £14.99. And remember, if you're buying the main collection, if you spend over £50 with us at Carnation here in the UK, your P&P is always free. So if you add that into your order, you're not paying the shipping and handling or the P&P on it. Add that to your order with the main collection. Now you're going to show us how this border works, yeah?
Yeah, it's super easy, but super clever, right? So we have a panel that we cut, and it looks like this. So it's got many a score line on it. You can see the score lines going down, and you can see all of the little holes going through, and that is where we're going to start weaving. It's very simple to use, and it's absolutely gorgeous when it's in use. Now, this panel that you can see here, you can just see on the side pieces, there's like a raised point. This bit we're not going to use at the moment. This is going to be our gluing point, if you like. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start to fold those score lines. You can actually do it all the same way. It doesn't matter. We're just going to make like a box from this, essentially. So let's have a look. I'm just going to take it to there. Now I can do that extra one. I don't really need to, and I'm not worried about it. So from this point, once we've got it well and truly burnished, make sure you've burnished, fold it both ways. It will make it much easier for you to manipulate later. I'm going to turn this in, and I'm creating a tube. Okay,
Yep.
So I've just created a tube. All I'm going to do is glue this edge, so that's going to fold together. So I'm just going to take a bit of wet glue. My advice, do not go anywhere near red liner tape when you're doing this. As much as I love red liner, this is not the time and place for it, because if it sticks wrong, you're not going to be able to undo it. But also, more to the point, if it overlaps where those little gaps are, you're not going to be able to weave.
Isn't it great that we can do this and demonstrate it on the TV, on the website? Because if you saw that on a shelf hanging there for sale, you wouldn't have a clue what it did.
You know now.
You do
Good
know
morning, Pam. How you doing, lovely? Pam's one of our gorgeous DT members and has done some incredible cards, might I say, Miss Pam, for this collection. I have been looking in awe at your work. So we're just placing that down. Now I've done one a couple of minutes ago, so it's dried, but it's same thing. I've done it exactly the same way. That tube sitting there just like so, ready for me to work with. Now I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but can you see the little gaps that are coming through here? That's going to allow me to weave and tuck. So I'm going to take this piece that I hope now has dried. I've got 3 pieces that I've cut from that gold, and this is this bit of the die.
Right.
You can cut that in any colour you want. And now it's up to you. Now it's just playtime.
So you can make your own paper ribbon.
Yeah, so basically you can tuck it in. So I can go in from the back here. Let's have a look. And I can start weaving. Can you see how it's come through this point? Okay, and then I can take this, I could glue that down, just which I probably will actually, just to make sure it stays. But for a moment, I'm just going to hold off. What I'm going to do then is possibly fold it. What I don't want it to do is untuck, but I want the maneuverability on it. And then I can hold that and I can start weaving through this piece.
But equally, you could put fabric ribbon through it if you wanted to.
So long as you can get it through.
Yep.
And I can weave through, and then I can go through another back piece here. And I can keep adding. Now my advice is to place 3 of those roughly together and just pop through and keep gluing and tucking as you go, and you can create as much as you want. Now you can make those smaller or you can make them bigger. I can take another one and I can cross-reference that, so I could put that one through here. I could do my tuck in at this side and I can start to weave my ribbon through. I can do that on the whole of it, or I can do it on just part of it, entirely up to me how I want to play. There it comes through at this side. We can make cut those beautiful crosses. Now we're gluing at the back all the time because we don't want our workings to be seen. If it was me, I like it when it's got that lovely big dimension, but it's up to you how you want to play with it. If I want that great big dimension, I'm probably going to stop what I'm doing on this piece and go again with another set of 2, but it's up to you. You could join 3 together before you start weaving them in, entirely your choice.
And also that is a wonderful die that you can use again on cards for all occasions. I mean, if you put real satin ribbon through there, maybe on a wedding card, that would look amazing. You know, spring, summer cards. This isn't just a Christmas die. It's something that's going to, again, elevate your card making to a new level of luxury and surprise.
Absolutely. Once everything is tucked in and you've got all of your weaving going down, I'm obviously going to demonstrate this properly for you in a little while, but once that's done, you would just literally put your red liner tape or your glue there, and you're going to stick your card base onto there. Your card's then going to open, and this is going to be this amazing, amazing panel that sits. Florals tucked in, creatures tucked in. Again, is it Christmas? Not really. No. It's not really anything to do with Christmas. You can use it all year round. And that's why the carnation dies are so important, because I know we all love Christmas, and I know Christmas is really important, and there's a massive thing about it. And they've given us very Christmas specific, you know, with a lot of the seasonal stuff. But Carnation always try and give us something that we can keep using, rather than just having that one thing. Because Christmas cards are great, right? But we do them once a year. Whereas this, we can now play all the way through our card making. Those floral dies we've got. Think of your MIDI floral arrangements and putting these woven on the side. Beautiful.
Now, Umberta's asking a question. She says, what's the width of those pieces? I presume you mean, Umberta, the panel die that we're talking about and using. Do we know the width of that one?
This one?
No, the one that's in front of you on the sheet.
This?
Yeah. Do we know the size of that?
We did this yesterday, Miss Towers. Can you remember? It was
8 by 5.
8 by 5 for that. This little panel here, that's a centimetre for that panel. This piece, which gives you the room to then tuck it, is 2.5. So you've got all the elements.
And
your ribbon is 0.5 centimetre. The height of this it'll be the same as the card, so it'll be 8. 8 inches, so I hope that helps.
There you go.
So
Thanks for the question.
Pieces. So thanks, Humberto. So once you've finished, if you want to add more to this, you absolutely can, to weave it through as different pieces. I quite like playing with it individually and gluing them separately, but you do you. There is no crafting police. So once you've got it to the height that you want it to be, my advice is to snip it much shorter. If I just show you here, because I use mine as separate pieces a lot. Sometimes I'll glue them together. It depends how I'm feeling at the moment. And then I would just put those down and glue them flat. Just at the back there, you can see, and that will keep it all in place, all tucked together, ready for you to tuck those florals in. So I hope that helped. What we'll do is make sure that this video obviously stays on YouTube. For anybody who comes back and they're like, how do you use this? This will always be there as a reference point, so you've got that tutorial I hope that helps.
Now, to be fair, in actual fact, that frosted panel and the card-shaped die set, I mean, that isn't just a Christmas investment, is it? That's an all-year-round purchase. But if you love the idea of having that column that you can put either on one side or both sides of your card, like Tina Whitmore has done, or Tina Whitmore, sorry, Tina, has done on this one, where you've got that paper ribbon, or maybe you want to take it to the next level, and this is also paper ribbon on this one, but there's one here somewhere that's actually got real satin ribbon threaded through it, and it's absolutely stunning. This one here, again, this one is done by Vera Bow. There we are, that's actual real ribbon with the poinsettias on there. How gorgeous is that? And there's that panel, of course, that comes alongside it too. So if you want that on its own, it's $39.99. But what we're all here for, and why I'm here once a month on Carnation Crafts TV, launching a brand new and exclusive collection. And that's what this is today. It's the first collection I've actually presented anywhere for Christmas 2023. So it's an exciting event. And many of you ordered it yesterday after Carla did the little sneaky preview last night. A third of the entire stock went before we came on air about 40 minutes ago now. So where we are at the moment, I'm not sure. We'll update the stock levels for you at 11 o'clock, our next live show. But this is what you're going to be getting. You've got the bows and ribbons. You've got the bursting with joy, which is giving you the ability to be able to have those kind of turn down and coiled corners, where you can have, of course, the little kind of elements popping up, whether it be foliage and flowers, whether it be little characters or whatever. And you've got it in the circle, the square, the corners are in there too. You've got the characters sharing in the moment with the wonderful polar bear, the gorgeous robin. You've got the little mice with the crowns on and the fox in there as well, getting ready for their Christmas party. Then you've got the snowflake corner and that beautiful snowflake embellishment die in the middle there too. And over here, you've then got all of your foliage, your poinsettia, your ferns, your pine cones, and of course your Christmas roses too. The whole thing, $107.99. Now, it should be $159.95. If you don't use the discount code, it's going to be $119.99. But if you do use it, CCGC10, you get all of this for $107.99, delivered free of charge of any postage, because you're paying over £50. So it's 230601, but remember, we do have those extra dies available on the website as well, and we have the perfect papers too. I just want to show you a few more finished cards, because the design team at Carnation always go over and above. Tina Whitemore's done this one with that beautiful kind of tuck-in and curled corner. That's so effective colour, isn't it?
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's always a pleasure to work with Carnation's dies. It's always a pleasure to work when they start engineering, because we get into a whole different realm of crafting, and these are incredible. I mean, this whole Christmas collection is mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
All of it is so well thought. When you think of the tree that gets to be pulled up, those corners that we get to make, that spine that we get to make, all of those aspects, it would take a lot for a lot of companies to come up with half of the ideas that Carnation do, and then Carnation take it that step further. Sharon Curtis saying the best DT in the world. Absolutely right.
Totally.
I totally agree with that. I think that's true.
Now, this is laid bare, the Christmas tree. This shows you a little bit more of how the Christmas tree actually works, and Tina's done this one as well. So obviously it's kind of telescopic. It's been designed in such a way that it cuts the cardstock, and you can have it as a short tree, but when you want it to be a little bit taller, it's got that expandable element to it, which is, again, the brain behind that. Absolute genius. You can see the size of it as it's designed, quite a short, stubby tree, but because you've got those cuts in the actual elements, you can just stretch it.
It's very personal about the tree, Dave.
Oh, sorry.
I just think that was a bit... It's not short and stubby. Don't you listen, tree. Dave's just mean.
But that is great, isn't it? The fact it can be as tall as you want it to be by basically it being telescopic. Absolute genius. Another one quickly before we go back to more. Vera Bow's done this one. Vera's used the wonderful Christmas roses and the berries on that wonderful corner section just there as well. I wonder, you know, when the design team get these, before it's actually been kind of developed, as it were, I wonder if they look at them and go, what do I do with that? Because, you know, well, that's what we were thinking.
Shall I let you into a little trade secret?
Go on.
The wonderful Miss Janine, we've got a little group for the DT, and the wonderful Miss Janine comes in with the sort of ones that maybe we wouldn't necessarily understand just by looking at them, and she does us a little video because she's a wonderful human, and so we know where we're going from there. So I hope that explains that. Anne Manson, Carla, do you know if the frost panel will be on the USB? And I don't have a clue what they'll put on what USBs. Do I think it might be? Yes. Do I know? No. So I'm not making you any guarantees, but I would have thought so. I just don't know for definite. Joanna Ainen saying, no notifications, even though I'm signed up for it, so I'm late. So about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, YouTube kicked loads of people off notifications. There's been a big furore about it. So basically what you need to do is go onto the YouTube channel for Carnation. If you're not subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification button, which for those of you who don't use YouTube too much and don't know, it's a little bell. And you hit that bell and it will notify you when we're coming up until YouTube kick us off. So if you feel that you're not getting notifications, please do go back to the YouTube page and just hit that bell again so it turns notifications off, and then hit it again so it turns notifications on. You should start receiving them again. It's been a big thing in the YouTube world because the people who I am signed up for as well, which is mainly murder documentary people, I've lost all of their notifications.
Pam,
so I
Pam
don't
Simpson,
know when that's happening.
Pam Simpson of the DT team, we were talking about how the DT team get videos from Janine. She's saying, oh, we sure do need Janine. Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Brilliant. And yeah, it is a great team behind all of these innovative products. We all get stuck in ruts, don't we, when we're crafting, used to doing cards in a certain way, used to using dies in a certain way, and then suddenly Carnation come along and say, hey, how do you fancy doing this? This is a bit different. And I think that's what keeps it fresh and exciting.
I think they push boundaries. I think what's great about Carnation is they kind of pioneer a lot, and it's hard in the crafting industry. You know, the crafting industry has been around a long time. To come up with new concepts at this stage, this late stage in the crafting industry game is hard to do, and it takes somebody like Nick and his team who've got that brain to just keep giving us those things. It's a privilege for us to use. It's a privilege to see, actually, just as somebody who's fascinated with that stuff. Privilege to watch it happening. Here's your card base. So I'm using that beautiful frost panel card shape. I've got this sitting here. Now, Carnation have got Crafter's Companion gold cardstock as well on their website, so please do go and ferret. It's very beautiful to work with. I have been using it in this Christmas collection, and so did some of the DT as well. I've used that debossing plate here, so you look at that. That's not Christmas, that's any tie. It's so beautiful. It's just really stunning.
Deboss, isn't it?
Just think of all the different ways you can do that. 3 layers of foam tape on a 3mm height. For those of you that like to follow my foam tape journey, just to give me a bit of a lift on this piece. And I'm going to do the best I can to get this roughly straight. Miss Tiztaz, where am I? Am I about right?
Looks all right from where I'm stood.
I always do this and then get it moved anyway, so I don't know why I really bother asking.
I told her it was right, and then as soon as she put it down,
It was wrong.
it jolted.
She moved it. Ah.
I think you're all very judgmental about my skills. Right, I have used, obviously, that that gorgeous piece for Bursting with Joy here, and I've used it on the centre. So I've debossed this panel, which is the top panel. As I say, I've used Elevate on mine because I don't have an embossing plate for some reason. I've had my cut and emboss for so many years. I'm surprised I've still got any plates for it, but I don't have the embossing one. So I used Elevate on mine. It gives it a really beautiful, chunky, deep base. But it is easier, I will tell you flat out, it's easier to use those lower GSMs. 350, you're asking any piece of metal to do an awful lot of work on a 350 when it's not cutting, it's just pushing. So my advice, go lower, but there are no crafting police.
Annie Foxall on Facebook says, can't wait to grab Pedro, the polar bear, when he drops through my letterbox.
He's quite handsome, is Pedro. We're going to
He is,
use him in a second. I'm just going to take that off a bit more gently than I just did. Yeah, he's very handsome, is the polar bear. He's long awaited, right? All of you were just like, oh my gosh, there's a polar bear. This is a game changer. Oh, Miss Taz, I can't get this off. There we go.
You tape spin in the sunshine, probably. That's what it is.
It's a what?
You tape spin in the sunshine.
Tape.
Don't get your tape hot in the car in the hot weather because you can't get the back off it.
So I've got my lines here, my glue, you can see nearer to my edge over here and not so much near the aperture because I'm going to tuck stuff into that aperture. So I need to keep stuff away from it because I need to pull it forward. So I'm just going to place this onto here. I'm going to try and get it as straight as possible, but you guys know at home that I can't lean over. So if it's on the wonk, it's on the wonk. And we'll go to...
Looks pretty good to me.
It was. Do you know...
That looks all right.
Right, so what I'm going to do, now I've got the option here. I can start to curl this out with my pokey and it's easier for me to sort of hold it. I'm not going to do too much of it. I quite like it sitting like a shirt collar, I'll be honest, for different reasons and different
I mean, if you've got any quilling tools, they're handy for that sort of thing as well, aren't they?
Well, nobody knows any quillers around here, Dave.
No. You're the master quiller.
I do enjoy my quilling, yes. So if we're just going to bend these round, I'll be totally honest with you. If you've got these, they're great for using it just to go round, and that'll be a rounder thing. Silly question, but do you call all the bits, cut all the bits first and then deboss? That's not a silly question at all, Linda. In fact, it's a joyous question, and I'm glad you asked it. Yes, cut the bit then deboss it. If you try and cut the bit after you've debossed it, you'll flatten your debossing.
Good point.
So cut it first, and then you've done all your pressure points with your cutting plate. Then go on top and deboss it, and that'll give you that beautiful, beautiful depth. If you put your cutting plate back onto here and shove it back through your machine, all of that will flatten out. So that was not a stupid question.
No,
it was a brilliant one.
Not.
Eileen says, I think it's just an additional rubber mat you use to do the embossing on your machine, Carla. I love you, Eileen. I still don't have the additional rubber mat, so Elevate is my new best friend. So let's have a look at Pedro. Look at his handsome face. He is just quite the man, isn't he? Now, I'm going to tuck him through. So remember, I put my glue further down. So I'm just going to hide his little body. Look at his little paw.
Surprise.
He's just poking. He's so handsome. So I know that where his leg ends here, roughly, I need my adhesive to be there. And then what I'm going to do is tuck his lug over. Okay, so my two gluing points are going to be here and here. I'm not going to put any glue anywhere else because I'm going to tuck other stuff behind him.
It's like he's making the grand entrance at a Christmas party.
It's like you, Dave. It's like you when you come here in the morning, Dave, and Miss Phyllis decides that you're her absolute boyfriend.
She won't leave me alone today, will she?
Miss Phyllis is in love with Dave today. So we're just going to place that down. So I've got his ear trapped there and I've got his paw trapped there. So he's bursting through. He's bursting through that scene, that beautiful Christmas gorgeousness. Now, we're going to put a couple of florals around with him because I don't want just that gold panel sitting empty at the top. Now, what I'm going to do is look at him. I'm so in love with him.
I think he's in awe of Pedro. He's kind of looking up to him for...
Honestly, I know everyone's in love with the polar bear, but he has stolen my heart so much. What I'm going to do is create a little central point up here, and we're going to create a little... kind of a little wreath sort of thing coming, not wreath, but you know what I mean, coming through with some decoration there to add some colour. So the first thing I'm going to make sure I do is only ever glue the top pieces of these because I may need to lift them to tuck more in, so I'm being cautious. So a little bit here, a little bit here. I don't need much glue. If it's not enough, I can add more. What I cannot do is take it away. So I'm just going to push those together and use that bigger point to make my piece. Here I can tuck it in. So if I want to, see how if I put it there, I'm going to have the working showing. Yep. If I don't want that, I can simply tuck and push under. And that's just going to allow it to sit. But I would need to just use a pokey just to make sure I've got that point of adhesion. Otherwise it's going to fall out. And I don't want that to happen. And certainly I don't want it to happen in transit. Now, I love the fact that when it sits there, it sits forward, it sits proud, it gives that shadow, it looks stunning. If you don't like that, don't do it. Simple as that. It's just how you want to play.
And it's always a good idea to have a little play before you put glue on to see what looks best. Play with your composition. If it doesn't look right, you've not committed anything and stuck anything down. You just kind of move it around a bit.
Do you know, I'm going to say something slightly different as well to that. I know everyone says don't stick anything down, don't commit and then do it. And I agree, and take photos. But I will say sometimes there's a real power in you sticking it down, and there's a real power in you knowing that it's wrong. Because yes, you've wasted your card base, possibly, but knowing that you've done it wrong sometimes, because you're learning composition all the time. Even, you know, I've been doing this for years, I'm still learning composition, and sometimes it's only once you've stuck it down, you've walked away and you've come back and you've gone, shouldn't have done that. And so sometimes those learning points, those mistakes that we make, are more important than any of the perfect ones that we get. So don't be afraid of doing that. Now I need to add some colour, and I need to add something to the top of this because I love it, but we're a bit naked. So I'm going to add in a ribbon. Love these so much, those long line bows, and that's going to sit pretty at the top of my card. Just adds that pop of colour, right? So it gives me something to play with. So I'm going to take some glue. I've got the 2 long lines put together and the 2 small bow points put together. They're just going to sit with the little legs of the ribbon
And
coming round.
even the ribbon dies are in parts, so you can build your ribbon up to be whatever shape and size you want it to be. It's not just one die with one design of ribbon. You know.
Anne Mountjoy is saying, where do you find the vignettes for this collection, please, Carla? They're not on the website until tomorrow. They will be on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Carnation have just set a day aside, so they'll come out tomorrow. It just means that instead of people kind of overloading the website by downloading everything, you can just buy the collection today and then tomorrow in your own time download the vignettes. That gives everybody a fair crack at the whip to get the collection.
It just means
today.
there's no frustration with maybe the website crashing, which is going to be causing you frustration. Order today, artwork tomorrow. That's what they thought they'd do to stop all that sudden surge to the website that would have caused, because it is such a busy time. Whenever Carnation Crafts launch their Christmas collection, we get a massive influx of people wanting to order for the first time, or maybe you're a regular customer and you just don't want to miss out on the Christmas collection this time. Over a third went before we came on air today, so we'll give you an update as to what's left a bit later on at 11.
I love that, Penelope. She says, you always learn from your mistakes in card making, and I keep them. I looked back recently at my old cards I'd made in 2012 and the card I made yesterday and thought how far I've cut. It's such an important lesson, isn't it? And I think you're so right. Keep them. There's no mistakes. What there are learning curves, and we need them. Otherwise, we're not progressing. So I've got this wee chap here, and I can pop him in and tuck him down here. So he's sitting with the polar bear, and he's just a little aspect. I can sit him where he's sitting on the polar bear's head. I can sit him down here where he's just coming into the card. There's lots of things I can do. But what I can do, first of all, is create an end piece, and that's what I'm going to do first. Then I'll work out his placements. So we were talking about those beautiful ribbon points, and this is where I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to start using it. So now I'm just going to add in, you could use red liner for this, but I'm just going to add in some of this.
I love this part of the collection. I really, really do. Remember, it's separately available, so it's on the side of your screen right now if you want that lovely, beautiful diamond-shaped panel. And the panel next to it, that's what creates and makes what Carla's using at the moment to thread that ribbon through.
I've done an Australian card here, guys, so I'm just going to stick this to the bottom rather than get myself into a pickle because my liner tape's at the bottom. So I'm just going to put that there so you can see how that starts to come in and starts to come together, that beautiful woven design. And this is where your florals come in. Your florals are incredibly important as far as this is concerned because they create such gorgeous, gorgeous aspects. And all I'm going to do is start weaving. And am I going in a particular pattern formation? No. I want some greenery, so I'm going to start off with this holly. And I'm just going to place through. My glue's getting hot and getting a little sticky in the studio light, so I'll add some more to my table. Just bear with.
Christine Bell says, morning you two, fabulous collection. Glad you like
Isn't
it,
it?
Christine. Pauline Straker says, absolutely stunning. Love the collection. You're all coming in with real positive thoughts about the first Christmas collection from Carnation for 2023. I'm excited for you because I know what's coming. And the artwork will be on the website tomorrow, remember.
Imagine getting this tomorrow and just being able to play for it. But the first time I got it, I was like, oh, well, this is fancy. This is so pretty. Look at that. You can see already, right? You can see that woven, those florals coming through and how pretty that is. And all I'm doing, chucking a bit of glue on the back of hither and shoving it through, guys. It's not rocket science. This is easy pickings to make something really stunning.
Do you know what? I had a lovely day along with Carla and friends of mine at Carnation in the middle of last month when I came back from holiday. Had a lovely day meeting everybody and also seeing the ordering process, seeing the orders come in, seeing how quickly they reacted to the order and seeing how quickly it got dispatched. When you order today, that order is processed probably within a couple of minutes and is in the post the same day. You'll probably get your order tomorrow, which is so impressive.
They don't mess around.
No.
The little elves
Yeah.
at Carnation, they've got mice and they've got elves at Carnation. But actually, in all seriousness, a massive shout out to the warehouse team who are just extraordinary. Our Lynn, who is just a wonder, I have to say. Well, they all are. Everybody is in the whole office. Shove some of this through here. Look how pretty this is.
Gorgeous.
Can you see how gorgeous that comes together? I've got some extra elements. I'll tuck them in because why not? I want some florals in there. I'm just going to place through. I love this so much. This side panel, it's not, I'm going to be honest, as much as I love this for the Christmas collection, because I think it's stunning, all I can think of is floral arrangements. All I can think of is things like Bohemian Beauty, where we can add in those feathers and those gorgeous colours coming through. Yes, it's meant for this collection, but man, is it going to take the other collections in a different direction as well, which I just think is extraordinary. So you can see how we're getting that gorgeous fullness now. A few florals here and there. So what I'm going to do, obviously, is turn this little chap this way, and he's just going to sit with a little grounding device at the bottom of this card, because I like him looking up at those florals, but I'm going to shape him. So a little bit of shaping just to bring his tummy out, because he's got the lovely, lovely little rounded tummy that Carnation are so good at doing. So I'm just going to round out his little mouth. And that is working at the edge. For those of you who aren't used to sculpting with paper, we use the ball tool right at the edge, and then right at the edge around his tummy, and that allows us to break those fibres. I'm going to follow Nick's cut lines. You can just see some tiny little cut lines here, and that is already broken. That paper is already broken. I can go straight in, and then his bum.
Now we're 5 to 10 in the morning on the first live show of the new launch of the Carnation Crafts Christmas Gifted Christmas Collection. 40% of the entire available stock has gone, and we've still got 2 more live shows. Next one at 11, one after that at 1 o'clock this afternoon. It is going incredibly quickly. I know for a lot of you that have been Carnation Craft fans for a long time, it's just tradition to absolutely buy every Christmas collection that comes out. If you're a brand new crafter with Carnation, why not come in with one of the most eagerly awaited collections of the year? Look at that.
How lovely is he when he's shaped out? I love him. I want him to be my friend. So you can see him looking over there to those florals. Really beautiful. I can't stand it up because I made an upside down card. I'd like to, but I can't. So that's just the way it is. We're going to come back, obviously, and I will do more card demos. But what I was really desperate to do, and I think is really important for you at home, you're the ones buying this, is to show you those cutting demos.
Yep.
At the start of today, we will remind you in the other shows that exists on this show, so I don't need to keep repeating the same demos, and we'll get some cards done for you later on. But I wanted you to see that. Isn't it incredible?
Brilliant. Now, just to recap, the bursting with joy, when you look at that, and when I looked at that this morning, I thought, that's interesting. What does it do? I couldn't quite work it out. Basically, you're going to get those, it looks like it's been torn. The torn edges is what the die gives you. But if I just drop that in, it allows you to do effects like this. So you can twirl the edges up of a circle or a square or an edge. You could do even like a slash in the paper as well if you wanted to. And with either your quilling tools or tweezers or whatever, you can just twirl it around and it creates that aperture. It creates that turn down. So you can have little characters popping out. Now we're going to be back in just over an hour with the second show, all about card making through the rest of the day. If you want it, remember, make sure you use the discount code, because if you don't, you'll be paying more than you need to. It's $107.99 and it's CCGC10. CCGC10. That gives you 10% off that £119 down to £107.99. And we have, of course, got ClearPay and, of course, ClearPay and PayPal as well as interest-free payment options.
We've got Freeview.
We've got Freeview.
You don't need it, but we've got it.
230601 if you'd like it. And don't forget the extra dies that we've got in the show that go so well with this are available too, along with the perfect papers. Carla, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Taz, thank you. We'll be back in about an hour's time. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee and enjoy the rest of your day, but make sure you get this collection while we've still got the stock. See you later.